Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Humanity Matters Weekly. I am your host, Philip Fletcher, and we got a great guest coming on tonight, a returning guest, Reverend Timothy Christopher. But before we get started, as usual, you can connect with me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and also the website, philipfletcher.org. That is 2 L's, philipfletcher.org. That is 2 L's. As always, you can also connect on for the podcast, Humanity Matters Podcast. So check it out, anchor.fm, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast content. Greatly appreciate it. So we are talking a lot about what's going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tim, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing there, Phil? How you doing?
Oh, doing good, man. It's been pretty busy up in your neck of the woods, hasn't it?
Every time you turn around, man, another shoe's dropping.
I just feel like what is going on in the state of Minnesota, and then specifically around where you live in Minneapolis. Can you just give us a feeling of how everything is going, just in general, this past 4 or 5 months now?
Well, I think everybody was pretty much on 10, from the protesters to the people who live here to the police. Everybody's just been on 10, and everybody's waiting. Just been waiting around for something different to happen, something new to happen. Because we all knew it was going to. With the way the city is ran by the government, it's just a matter of time. With all the carjackings and things of that sort. I mean, everybody pretty much has been on 10 here lately.
Okay.
Don't go downtown. Don't leave your car running. Don't stop at certain red lights. Just go through them, because if you do, you can get your car jacked. So it's not been good, man. It's not been good.
So just context. So when George Floyd died last year, and then the responses that were coming from, I guess, your city government in regards to the police and funding, can you lay out for us the police department that was involved in the George Floyd death? That's city police primarily. Can you explain that? Because I think there may be some confusion and overlap between that police and, the police involved with Dante Wright. Can you give us what that looks like specifically?
Yeah, that's two different police departments. Now,
okay.
Floyd was city.
Okay.
They're the Minneapolis Police Department. They were city police.
Okay.
Wright is Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park area. So that's probably about, right outside the city. It's probably takes you about to where they murdered him.
Okay.
Probably about 2 minutes to get from the city to Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center area.
Okay.
So they're two different police departments. So the police department that
I think I lost you there, Tim. We got some technical difficulty right now. Wait for Tim to come back on again. He's kind of frozen. So what we're talking about, Tim is he lives and does ministry in the Minneapolis area, and I wanted to bring him on tonight to provide a firsthand look about what is going on in Minnesota and specifically Minneapolis, to try to give us an understanding of the different police departments involved. And so when he gets back on, and he's going to jump back off and log back on again. When he gets back on, really want to hear from him what's going on. You know, you got what news is reporting, wherever you get your news, whatever it may be on social media. Obviously, it's going to come with a particular perspective, but then it's also important to hear from actual people who have been involved in the actual, whether it's seeing the protest or being around in regards to the court case regarding Derek Chauvin, and then what is going to be happening with the trial with Dante Wright and that shooting. It's good to get that perspective. So when he gets back on, we will be able to get his perspective on that. And he is back with us. All right, Tim, you got us.
Sorry about that. My my internet. I don't use my phone much.
I got you.
Because my internet down here is kind of off a little bit.
Off. I got you. So you was laying out for us the different police departments who are all one with what happened with the murder of George Floyd, the other with the murder of Dante Wright. So just continue to summarize what that looks like for us.
Yeah. So like I said, you have your Minneapolis Police Department, and then you have your Brooklyn Center Police Department. So they are two different agencies that so happen to having to deal with the murder of two black men.
Okay. And the Brooklyn Park, how far is that from, I guess, downtown Minneapolis?
Probably 10 minutes, maybe. I mean, you can.
Okay.
Downtown Minneapolis, you can get there in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
A little less than that, but I'll just round it off. I would probably say about 10 minutes.
Okay.
From where he was from where he was shot. So
okay.
A little bit up the road, a little more where George was murdered. So that's up the road a little bit.
Okay.
And where
so go ahead.
Where Dante was shot, that was pretty much in somewhat suburbia, but it's out in a really, really nice area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's the mood since the verdict on Derek Chauvin being found guilty of second, third degree murder and manslaughter, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So what's the mood Sunday? Just give us your thoughts.
Yeah, I think everybody is off. Like a lot of people were saying, I even said the same thing. It almost feel like, you're sitting here waiting, like the OJ trial, trial. Everybody's just, going, don't count your ducks just yet. We don't know what all the evidence that was put out there and what everybody saw. There's a lot of people who are still saying, don't ever try to, roll your dice and think you're going to win when it comes to the police. It's going to be the same thing like it always is. And I think once they went ahead and found him guilty on those charges, I think a lot of people the air went out of the room, and everybody basically going, wow, finally.
Okay.
Finally, and black people in here in Minneapolis were going, in a way, we're glad it happened here, because they can
Yeah.
always look at Minnesota. They can look at me. This is where it started. So if there's going to be a
Yeah.
difference made, it's going to be started right here.
Yeah, it was I tell you, man, I didn't know which way it was going to go. I thought honestly, I thought he'll get manslaughter. Um, the second and third degree murder charges, I didn't know which way that was going to go. I didn't think that he was going to be found not guilty on all three. There was just no way that could happen. The video just, obviously speaks for itself. So when it came back, that it came back so quickly. That was one thing. I was like, wow, if it's coming back that quick, it's that was something. And then when I heard all three, I was my mouth hit the floor, quote unquote. So I've been reading, post the trial, and there's some that's saying that he didn't get a fair trial. One, because of I guess the family settled a civil case with the city, correct? The 27 million, right? Yep. And because the jury was not sequestered until they went to do their jury, decide the case. Can you talk about that? Pluses and minuses, what people were saying, and where you're living at?
Well, with this jury being sequestered, we hear that noise up here like crazy. Mm-hmm. Thing with they should have moved the trial. Number one, no, they shouldn't have moved the trial. The trial's this should have happened in where he murdered him at. See, what they wanted to do is take it all the way up in the deep woods. You understand what I'm saying? So he can truly have a jury of his peers. But he murdered George Floyd right here. So this trial had to stay here. There was no way we were going to pull an Rodney King and move that trial all the way up in Simi Valley, where there are no black people up, So George's voice wouldn't have been represented if they would have moved it north at all, number one. So, and then when they're talking about the jury, making them stay in hotel rooms and all this here type of stuff, look, if someone on the jury would have sat there and say they had never seen that tape before they showed it, they lying. That tape ran 24/7 here.
Yeah.
Everybody on that jury already seen the knee. They've seen his reaction. They've seen the reaction of the people. So I believe, I'm just saying what I believe. I believe some of those people had their made up going into this trial. I totally believe that. Their minds was already made up when they watched that on TV. That he was guilty. I said those stories, their minds was already made up. If they come back and say time, they spend 2, 3, 4 days on this, and they simmer. They just let this thing simmer. Okay, now I have to sit back and go, well, maybe somebody didn't see it. Maybe somebody is really looking at the evidence. But I believe every single one of those saw that video, that dude's neck. I can almost guarantee you they went into that going, he's guilty. Period. So we can sit here and say that, people are saying that he didn't get a fair trial because the jury members were afraid that they were going to get, this, or people were going to come to their house, and nobody was coming to their house. They wasn't going to get anything. no, I'm not buying that.
Okay.
I just can't see that. I just can't, because there's a lot of things they're saying that the jury only found guilty because they were afraid people were coming to their house. No, those jury, the people on that jury already had their mind made up going into this. Period.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it brings up something interesting, just moving forward in the society in which we live, where who doesn't have a cell phone with camera capabilities? It's probably few and far between, at least in America. Um, you're thinking about the video of what happened when George Floyd was murdered, and the fact that there was worldwide protest. So it didn't remain in Minneapolis or Minnesota or the United States. That went worldwide, and it just speaks to you're not going. I don't know how you'll find a jury moving forward who would not be exposed to something like that, especially something that's shown over and over and over. And then between the event and then by the time you choose a jury, who hasn't heard about it, who hasn't watched some aspect of it. So it weakens the argument about trying to, like you said at the beginning, moving the case so that he or whoever else can get a fair trial, because who hasn't seen it? Unless you are someone who lives in a hole and swears off all technology, it's you would be hard pressed to say that.
Yeah. See, at this point, he should have took the plea deal.
Oh, I didn't know about a plea deal. Really? What?
Yeah, Barr had told him not to take the plea deal.
Okay.
The Attorney General Barr.
What?
And he didn't take that. He didn't take that plea deal. So
what would that have been?
That's what. They didn't say what it was, but they have been talking about a plea deal that the Attorney General basically told him not to take. So he rolled his dice. He rolled the dice on the same thing that's got all these other cops off, is the system. And I'll say it, period. I've always called it racist. The system, not the police officer. Mm-hmm. And I don't think is racist. I know everybody talking about, oh, he's a racist cop. He's a racist cop. No, he's not a racist cop. He did what the system allowed him to do. Period. No ifs, no ands, or buts. It's the same system that we've been fighting for 400 some odd years. It's the same system that chased us once our ancestors were freed slaves. It's the same system that gave them the right to put water hoses on black people. It's the same system that had dogs out there biting black people. It's the same system that put a billy club up against John Lewis' head. It's the same system that put Martin Luther King in jail. It's a racist system. And until that changes, even now with this thing with Derek, even now, as long as they travel up under this racist system who has brutalized that Dr. King, Malcolm X, Melvis Eggert, all of them who have we've been fighting that same system that they had been talking about for years. Same system. That system hasn't changed.
Okay.
So as long as we stay up under that system, what happened down there with Chauvin, it ain't gonna matter. It's just gonna be the next cop that's gonna try his luck.
So what is the mayor?
We are under their.
You got me.
I got you.
Okay. All right. So talk about just a little drag here. Talk about the mayor and the city council. So do they oversee the city? Well, no, they don't. Does the Brooklyn area where Dante Wright was killed, they have their own mayor and city council?
Yeah, all separate. The
Okay.
Minneapolis city clowns have zero clue what they're doing. They're clowns, dude. Worst group that I blame a lot of blacks for their crap who bought into voting for. I blame a lot of black people who did not show up to vote. They basically abolished the police. You know, like I said, his world of his kaleidoscope, his vision is just plain pathetic.
You're talking about the mayor?
You know, and then you got a mayor. Well, you got a mayor who's brought in here from Virginia.
Oh, he's really?
That is also pathetic. Yeah, he's brought in here to run a city from Virginia, dude.
Are we talking about so that young guy? Yeah. That young guy.
Really. Yeah, he's from Virginia. He's not even from here. Dude only been here for like 3 years or whatever. He moved here so he can claim citizenship. Yeah, he moved here so he can claim citizenship, and then they ran him for mayor.
Huh. Okay.
And then we had a young black woman who was running also, but she's so black power to the point that scared people.
Okay.
So she wouldn't have won because she's they looked at her as a mini Black Panther woman. You know, a lot of the white people that I talk to. And then there again, you got black people not showing up to vote.
Okay.
You know?
So
angst that's going on down. I'm waiting for you to catch up a little bit there, Phil.
Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for you too. Okay. You got me?
I got you.
All right. So the mayor, what's his name?
Fryboy? His name is Jacob Fry. I just call him Fryboy.
Jacob. Yeah, he used to look young when I saw him on TV. Okay, so like in our city? So, for instance, in our city, our mayor appoints the chief of police. Is that how it is in Minneapolis?
Yeah, I do believe so. We vote. Yeah, I do.
Okay. So what's the mayor's plan moving forward with the police department?
Well, he supports the police department right now. And he had supported the police department when he first ran. The police union wrote him a check, and under pressure, he decided to give it back. He's trying to play both sides of the fence. He's trying to play the side that sits there and say we want to fund the police, and he's trying to play the side of the police. It's what he's doing. Because he goes over here and he snuggles up to this group, and then behind this group's back, he snuggles up to this group. This is a two-faced dude, man. He come into a city, like I said, he come into a city and he has zero clue what he's doing. I don't think he's ever really been around black people, because he does black people like all Democrats do. I'm going to use you for what I need you for, and then when I'm done with you, I'm just going to sit you to the side. And black people fall for that. There's no way in the world this man should be mayor. Zero.
And what about the city council? What's their position? Are they still on the whole? What is their position? I don't want to. You're there, so what is the city council's position with the police department as far as, you know, moral support, financial support? You know, what's their position?
You got about 3.5 of these clowns who want to basically defund, abolish the police department. They want to strip the police department out of a lot of money of training and getting new police. They see this vision of, people walking around being interrupters. They see a crime, they're going to jump in front. They're going to try to talk the person down from shooting somebody. Well, here's the problem. The so-called interrupters that they had walking the street a few months ago, people were shooting at them. So they had to call them off. So now we bring the police back in with no type of support from these clowns. And I call them clowns because that's what they are, dude. And I'm not when I say that. You got little car. These fools. Let me show you how these fools work. So
I mean, you live there; they're your representation.
They claim that people were after them. But watch this here. While everybody else was going through it, getting carjacked, getting mugged, getting assaulted on the trains and all this here type of stuff, you walked out your door, and they ready to get beat up. But they go and hire their private security for themselves. While everybody else is getting knocked up upside the head, old people getting shot and knocked down and beat up and robbed, they go hire security for themselves. This is what I'm telling you, man. They are clowns. I'm not kidding when I tell you that. They are clowns. This group makes $100,000 a year. They get paid more than any city council member around. $100,000 a year they make.
Is that in total or
to sit on that city council? A person.
Really?
Yeah, each person. Yes. $100,000 a year they make. They're the highest paid. They're the highest paid city council in Minnesota, and they do nothing, man.
Okay.
They do nothing but cause trouble and cause havoc. That's all they do.
Wow, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Todd Jones says $100,000 per year on the city council. That's wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Can you go back?
Well,
can you go back and talk a little bit more about the interrupters? What was supposed to be their purpose? Who are they specifically? What training? Can it be anybody? Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Pretty much what they're a group of guys who formerly walked the streets and spoke to people, talked to young kids and things of that sort. So what the city council's mindset was in doing that is because they're on the streets already, they feel that they will be able to intervene in any type of mayhem or some criminal act that may go on. Mm-hmm. So they could be able to step in between and cause the problem to go away. What the city council, who don't ever come into the neighborhood or not walking the streets, don't realize, you're not dealing with your normal everyday criminal. These boys will shoot you without even a blink of the eye. These young kids who get these guns, they have zero problem with pulling the trigger. Zero. So the city council, this is what's going to be their way of kind of taking the police pretty much off the street. Well, what they've done is they've had these police say, you know what? If y'all don't want me, I'm leaving. That's why they're down 200 cops right now, because of the city council and some of those clowns on the city council.
Yeah. So these interrupters, so they're volunteers, or are they funded by the city? Are they like on the payroll of the city,
City
or
paid.
okay? And so is this like a full-time job, or I get hit on the hip to go to this address and try to be, I guess, like a peacekeeper or somebody like that?
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. Time or part-time job. I'm not
Okay.
sure on that.
Wow. That's something. Yeah, I just posted Todd. Yeah, Todd had found a link. The base salary for city council members in your city, $106,000. That's
Yep.
something. That is something. That's something. That
right.
is something. So moving forward, what is are there gatherings, protests happening right now regarding Dante Wright down in the Brooklyn area? What's kind of been the community response in that area?
Well, right now, last night was I'm just gonna, because I went by there today on my way home from church to the precinct in Brooklyn Center. I think last night was pretty much, I think it was really calming down last night. There was no outbreaks or anything of that sort. And I went by there today. There's literally nobody out there. I mean, it's you can drive your car down the street with no problem at all. So I don't know where they're taking this thing from here. I know there are protests on the outskirts. There are always going to be protests downtown, because they're asking that the woman who shot Dante, they're asking for her charges to be raised.
Mm-hmm.
So until they raise those charges on her, they're going to be out in the streets downtown. So I don't know. I heard a little bit. They're talking about going into the suburbs to disrupt their life, and that type of stuff. Don't know how true that is, but I wouldn't put it past them, especially with the person who told me that there may be a chance that that's going to happen.
Okay.
So other than that, we really haven't had any big protest. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know we talked last year about the makeup of the protests that were happening. Is it pretty much this with Dante Wright? Has it pretty much been individuals that you know of? I know you can't attest for everybody. In general, has it been people who live in the area, in Brooklyn Center, kind of like the surrounding area?
No, a lot of these people are coming from Crystal, St. Louis Park, Hopkins, all around in that area, there. The apartment buildings that's in front of the Brooklyn Center Police Department, there's 4 buildings. Probably, I would say with probably 20 apartments in each one of the 4 cubes. Matter of fact, like I said, I stopped by there. I was over there today talking to some of the people, and like they were saying, all this protest was going on right across the street. They said nobody in our buildings were part of the protest. A lot of those
Okay.
protesters wasn't even in Brooklyn Center. I mean,
Okay.
so a lot of them came from elsewhere to be
Okay.
a part of that.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. So, for you and Shepherd's Works, how have you tried to help out, be involved in this in any type of way?
Well, what our plan is, what Shepherd's is going to do is we've been waiting for everything to calm down, and then we're going to go into, like I said, those 4 cubes. That was one of the reasons why I was over there today, and we're going to
Okay.
go in there. We're going to ask the people, what can we do for you? How can we bring this down a level? Because I mean, night after night after night, you had kids that had to go to school the next day, and people were out there until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, screaming and yelling, playing loud music, and those kids couldn't sleep.
Mm.
Then you had your veterans, and they're shooting fireworks, they're shooting, tear gas and things of that sort. And you got these veterans who have been through it, and that's just don't sit right with them. So what we're going
Right.
to do is we're just going to go and we're just going to raid these buildings, man, and say, hey, what can we do to help? I got the cavalry behind me. What can we do?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. And I know, following you on Twitter and seeing you being active and really holding elected officials accountable. So this is going on. Me and you've been talking for a year now, and this has been going on for a year. What have you learned about, working to hold these elected officials accountable regarding these tragic events that are happening? Can you speak to that?
Well, I'm looking at the situation in a way of saying, if we don't have boots on the ground, if you don't have enough people to make noise, they just overlook you.
Mm-hmm.
You're one voice, and one voice only means a couple of them. There's 2 things that these officials understand. They understand dollars and people. If you get enough people in a room to make them go, that's a lot of money I'm losing if I don't, do what they say, then you're done, man. You're done. And my thing about dealing with these officials is start mobilizing people. Start saying, look, they can do better. And if they don't do better, we vote them out. And the problem is because, they play on the Democratic side and they play you on the Republican side. And you got staunch Republicans who believe that Donald Trump is going to be president again. They're going to find all these voter fraud, and then they're going to elect him again. You got people that think on that type of level, which is crazy. To try to get those people to start saying, okay, let's get together. And then you got the Democratic Party on this side, especially the white liberal who believe they're saving the black people. You can't get them away from this Democratic Party enough to say, let's get together, we as people, because it does say we the people. I think people forget that sometimes. It's we the people. It's not them the people. It's not them going to tell us what to do. People don't realize it's us who tell them what to do. And if you do what we ask, we're going to vote you out of here. For some reason, we missed that point, that we paid their bills. And if you want your bills paid and you want that seat, then you're going to sit, you're going to listen to us. And this is what we're going to do. See, Mayor Fry won't meet with me because I won't bow down to him. like a lot of black
Mm-hmm.
people that he has in his corner.
Mm-hmm.
As long as with these Democrats, as long as you crawl behind them, they'll give you all the time in the world. But when you start saying, "Dude, you're not right. You're
Yeah.
not doing right. You're not doing right by the people. You're not doing right by the city," they'll ignore. And I'm only one person. I'm only one person. So what my mindset is, okay, then I'm gonna start mobilizing. I'm gonna start getting people behind me. So when you run for office, it's gonna be a lot harder. You may win, but it's gonna cost you a lot of money to win this time. You're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna get by with a lot of black people not showing up and not voting. That's not going to happen. So I've got to mobilize these people to get in the same mindset that these people don't own us. They don't. We actually own them because I pay your bills. I put gas
Right.
in your car. I put food on your table. And if you want that gas, you want that food, and you want a roof over your, then you're going to start listening. If not,
Yeah.
we as a people need to start voting these people out, man.
Oh, man, I tell you, uh, those are those are honest, hard words that need to be said. And just to be quite transparent, I'm really looking at the policies and the laws that uh, our elected officials put in place. I look at what happened to George and looked at what happened to Dante and others, men and women, black, white, whomever, not just in Minneapolis and Minnesota, but just across our nation. And I think, you're right. We got to hold, obviously law enforcement accountable for their actions. Um, but then also we got to hold accountable those elected officials because those law enforcement officers, those men and women, they are, they're enforcing the laws that these elected officials put in place. And you hit on something real big and talking about the interrupters, those persons that you send out there. Um, that city council, they're not the ones going out there doing the interrupting. They've signed that into law or whatever, and they've moved about their business. And it's the interrupters who are going to take it on the chin, if you will. Um, and so there are a lot of laws that our elected officials they put in place that they don't see the day to day consequences of what they put into legislation.
Well, the ones here,
So,
with everything that we got going
mm,
on, um, they see it firsthand, brother. We there's this kid. His name is Jeremy Ellison.
okay,
His district, his ward, the worst ward in Minnesota, in all of
okay,
Minnesota. All of it is the worst ward. There's either a shooting, a killing, an assault, overdose, or something going on every day in his ward. Every day. He can't do anything. And I don't really think he wants to do anything because I asked him to move a bus stop. There's a bus stop in front of this liquor store where everybody
okay,
goes, man. I'm talking everybody. They party there. They shoot dice there. They shoot each other there. You got a young single mother trying to get on a bus in a bus stop that are now used for drug dens, where there's open air drug sales out of bus stops on Broadway and
wow,
Lindale. Open air.
okay,
Cops know it. They just
okay,
drive by. They don't want to cause trouble. So this young mother can't use that bus, can't get on the bus there and use that
hmm,
because she gets harassed by men when she's sitting there. So I asked him to move it from in front of the liquor store. Now,
Okay.
when you sit there and go, well, when are they going to move it? Well, they're going to move it once that young mother comes running across the street to try to catch the bus because she's afraid to sit over there. And one of these fools in a car who do not stop for stoplights swerve around everyone else and kills that baby. See, things like that has to happen before these elected officials do one thing that somebody asks.
Mm-hmm.
They know how dangerous that corner is. Get the bus stop off that corner, right? But somebody's got to die in order for them to do something. And that's what's sad. And that's the very reason why I sit here and say, I don't blame them anymore. I blame the black people who voted for them, and I blame the black people who did not vote. Because it doesn't make any sense for a baby to have to die or a young single mother have to die, leaving her kid, in order for you to do one simple thing: move a bus stop. And I'm talking move the bus stop, move it 50 yards. That's 50 yards. That's all you have to move this bus stop. But they will not do it. Jeremy Ellison will not do it.
But did he tell you
Somebody
why?
has to die in order for that to happen. And it has to be Say again?
Did he tell you why?
Oh, I know why. He didn't have to tell me. I had a meeting with him. He's trying to tell me all the red tape that they have to go through. No, you don't have to have no red tape. You have you have two city guys come down, cut the bolts off of that. What? Move it 50 yards. Have to drill it back in the ground. The bus got to stop somewhere anyway, right? It doesn't take much to move that 50 yards, man. But because he don't have what it takes to be a true council member. He's weak, so it's going to stay there. Just like the mayor. I've sent the mayor email after email after email after email asking him for a meeting. I've sent him email after email after email after email asking that bus stop. I've been on his Zoom where I've asked him to meet with me. He ignores me. This is a problem that we're having. There's people down there that just should not be in office. But because they black and we need a seat at the table, we don't care what they do when they get there. We just want a seat at the table. You know how black people say that. Oh, we need a seat at the table. We don't get a seat at the table. But then they get a seat at the table and they forget about the people who put them at the table.
Woo, those are hard words. Are you going to run one day?
I couldn't run, dude. I'll be in jail. I couldn't put up with a lot of stuff that they do. And I'm not kidding. Because I've been to knock somebody in the forehead, dude. I know. But people say, but you're a reverend. How are you going to do that? I always tell people, Peter cut somebody's ear off in front of Jesus. So just because I got a member, don't. I'm Peter. I always people I'm Peter. Peter had flaws. While he walked with Jesus, I got flaws. So no, man, I have, if I run for something, it'll be lieutenant governor. If I run for something, I feel that's the job for me. That's the job.
Why is that?
Because
why is that?
You can't have what we have now. We've got a governor that goes unchecked. And the lieutenant governor goes right along with what the governor do. See, you need somebody up there that will check the governor. When the governor is wrong, somebody got to say, dude, you was wrong. Now, this governor promised us a 2 Minnesota. I haven't seen a 2 Minnesota. This governor try to act like people didn't want to take these COVID shots, so he come into a black neighborhood for a photo op. We don't need people like that. Somebody's got to be able to pull him back and say, dude, you ain't right. You need to get your stuff together. You understand what I'm saying? We got a lieutenant governor that won't check him. He needs to be checked. So
So is
that's what I would run for.
Okay. All right. Hey, you heard it here first. Possibly. I understand. Notice I said possibly. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Tim,
hey,
bro, I hear you.
We never know, bro.
Yep, you're right. Tim, I appreciate the conversation. I hear your frustration. I know it's difficult. I know, you want to snap somebody up by the neck. I completely understand that. And I'm very sympathetic to what is going on in your city and the surrounding area. But hey, for such a time as this, you're there. So I just want to encourage you as well, and the ministry and the work that you do. And don't lose hope, and don't get too discouraged, because you're there for a reason. And the effort to mobilize men and women to get involved in the political process, it's hard work, but it's work that needs to be done, because we still have a unique opportunity and lived experience to have some say in our political process. So hey, much love to you, man. Anything else you want to say and share with the group?
No, I like always, man. It's always awesome to talk to you. And like I said, one of these days when I get down to Memphis, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, so I'm a Southern boy. I'm gonna keep going. Like I told you before, I do plan on coming to see you. I got to shake your hand at least one time.
Yeah. I
appreciate you doing this here.
Yeah. Oh, we froze up again. I hope to shake a hand of Lieutenant Governor. Will you hear me? All righty. I'm going to move to the off screen here. All right. Hey, everybody. Appreciate let me get this here. Woo, technical difficulties today. Nonetheless, hey, thanks for joining the Humanity Matters Weekly. It's been Philip Fletcher with Timothy Christopher. Hey, check out his work, Shepherd's work. Would greatly appreciate you guys checking him out, and everything that he is doing up there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. As always, let me get my stuff here, right? Check out my social media at Philip Fletcher. Dr. Philip Fletcher is our Facebook, as well as Humanity Matters and the Facebook page. All right. And then check out Rap, Hip Hop, and Freedom. That will be coming back this coming Friday as we look at rap, hip hop, and freedom and what classical liberalism and libertarianism has to say regarding this. And check out my nonprofits, the City of Hope Outreach, Hope Village. Got some good news coming. And Replicate, our nonprofit startup. If you need help starting a nonprofit, hit us up. And as always, remember to be loved, to be kind, and to be generous. And if we remember to live in hope, we can do the impossible. Y'all take care, and God bless.
When I say your name, it says you exist and that you matter. I can't transform what I don't think exists. I won't transform the person I don't think that matters.